You should have started. Hopefully that's right. At my Discord. Do this off screen real quick. Right, test bot. Found found new background music. Why do we have 3 audio sources today? That's new. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess I have 3 audio sources now. I guess I can I just remove this one? Hide, rename, copy. Looks like I can't for some reason. Okay, let's just hide it. So it will look like I have 2 audio sources, like what I'm used to. Well, one being the background music, the desktop audio, and the second one being the microphone. Right. Yeah, it's time to start the last. Will it be the last? I think it will be the last feature before it's done. Well, first that won't be the first step, first stage of development. Oh, forgot about the chatty. Need to launch that. I like the background music, I like the sound of it, but hopefully it doesn't get boring after a while. It might. Okay, chat is up. All right. Ooh, let's do this. Seems like I I sense bad ideas today. Let's see, let's do the test. Test, it works. Okay. All good in that case. Right. YouTube. Nothing changed. How did I miss that I got new followers? Like 39. I don't think it was at 39. Yeah, this looked like someone was calling me. Unknown. Where is a channel? 19. So it didn't change on YouTube. Okay. Right, I don't actually need it to be open. I still have Minecraft open as well. So many questions to be answered. Right. This. Oh, so this is the from the database thing. Illustration purposes. Corpus. Damn, I'm regretting watching the Patrick show so much. Right. So I've done Killbot. That is finished. Well, translation is not done yet, but translation will be something I was allegedly supposed to do it off stream, but that didn't happen. So now I need to. Let's see. Bot menu. I guess that's where I should start. New bot. Is this new bot menu? To do handle press when attempted by the user who waited longer than 1 hour to respond. Oh, that's. Hey, this is new bot. Oh, so new bot. Okay, That's not what I'm looking for. I should be looking in menus, I think. List, create, claim, delete, extend, new bot menu. For this, because this is what links to the killbot and will be linking to new battlebot menu. Already set up apparently. Okay. Hey, welcome back. That's an odd emote. Ritz Mitz. Okay, and I have no idea who that is. Interesting, it gives me like a window like this about the emote. Okay, that's cool feature. How do you like the background music? What is this stream finale too? No, it's it wasn't the stream finale. It was the finale of that feature, because it took me like 8 streams to actually finish it. So now I'm starting a new feature, which will be very similar. It will be battlebot, creating a configuration for new battlebot, also for editing. We'll use the same thing, but yeah. So how I have new killbot menu, I will have a new battlebot menu. So I need to do that. Let's see. I guess I can start very similarly. Well, the BGM is not there, or is it quite low? It is here. Here I can. Oh, okay, I changed background music. Give me a second. I'll turn it back to what it used to be. Oh yeah, it's a lot quieter. I think I have different audio levels set as the player. Yeah, well, it's a very odd, repetitive. It's like it's not actually music. It's a repeating pattern or tone or something like that. Now I can hear some of it. Okay. Should I increase the volume? Well, now it's being really quiet on purpose. You want a link? Give me a second. Chat here. Okay, so this is the link. It's called ADHD Music. It lasts for 9 hours. It's pretty good. I usually don't have background music this high, so I'm not sure how it sounds. Right, I was watching, yeah, my brother. So, what I wanted to share. At some point I thought I really have ADHD. Well, I don't even know what ADHD is, so I still sometimes do. You know, I never actually looked into what it actually is, what's the definition and how it's diagnosed, but from like superficial stuff you hear on the internet, it seems like everyone has it in one form or another, so I don't really pay attention. For somehow I have 39 followers, which was a little bit. Don't think it was at 39 last time I streamed. Yeah, okay, so this is not the definition. If you may have, like, this is not a symptom. You may have trouble paying attention, like controlling compulsive behavior, overly active, like descriptions of symptoms, like, it's not a test. It's not a diagnosis. Like, it's not a way to diagnose it. So, and it's not a definition. if you don't feel like listening, or you feel bored because the subject doesn't interest you, or you want to do something else, you have a lot of energy at that time, like now you have ADHD, like that, and that's bullshit. This definition is meaningless. Like, in my opinion, it's how can you tell if it's like, yeah, I don't believe that. Children, but well, I'm not a children, so does it affect me differently? So how does it look when I'm not a children? when I'm not a child? Like you're not a child as well. So why do you care how it looks in children? How it may look in children? Like, what they may like, no, not this. Not really sure. The one which is playing right now. What? I'm confused. I'm old and confused. I have attention confusion disorder. I have no idea what you're talking about. Like when you use terms like this, that, it, like keep in mind, because of the delay, I will probably won't be able to correctly identify what it refers. Like, it's not like in programming where references, you can pass value by reference and it's gonna be always, it will know where to check. The one which is playing right now, the music playing right now, yeah, so what about it? I don't seems like there are messages missing in between. Oh, you'll want the link. Wow, that was way longer. way back. Okay, here's the link. Right. So I had a visitor this weekend. Don't be sad, it's all good. I'm the one who, like, it's not because of you. It's mostly because I have a bad memory. Like, I don't retain information really well. So it's just, you know, one of those things that not really sure how there's I don't think there is a way to improve it. So it's just something you need to learn to deal with. Right. So yeah, I had a visitor. My brother came over this weekend. My little brother. So you play a live stream every day? Yes. Is that an issue? I usually have a couple ready. So if I don't like what one of them is playing, I can switch around. But I like the ADHD background music. Seems to be, well, it does its job. It provides a background, audio background, like that's not distracting. Right, brother. My brother was here, and yeah. I showed you my stream. Well, so first of all, my brother hinted a couple of times that he might be interested in learning programming, and I think it could be a cool thing if, well, I think I will try to convince him to come over and stream with me, or maybe just participate or watch the stream. And maybe it could be a cool series, like teaching a beginner, like absolute, like he has no knowledge. He's like an auto mechanic by trade. Like he has nothing. Like he knows very little about programming. He knows his brother is a programmer, like, and well, he said that the amount of books I had and the like like the thickness of the books I was reading when I was studying, really put him off from programming. So that I remember specifically. So yeah, and he was over visiting. Well, he was visiting parents, and he came over to see me. And yeah, I showed him in my stream. And you know what he said? Like, I think it's the best compliment I could have expected. Like, you know what he said? He said, "It's better than I expected." Like, that was his honest opinion when I showed like a snippet from like last stream when I was like talking just randomly. We scrolled around, and I don't really remember what I was trying to showcase. But yeah, we came to the conclusion it's actually watchable. It's not bad. So you know, I might be able to convince him to come over and like do a series of like learning basics of programming, like how to start, where to start, and so on. And not well, I won't be teaching like a teacher where I just go through steps, but someone who guides. Like he will do his own thing, and when he is unclear about the topic, like he doesn't understand something, I can do like a, I'm not sure, 10-20 minutes, well, however long it takes to explain that concept and relevant like superficial information, like all the things that are relevant at that moment, like to slowly build up his knowledge base about programming in general. I think that could be an interesting series, and because the benefit is, well, there are many benefits, but for me personally, it would be really cool, I think, if my brother got into programming. Then maybe we could like collaborate and stream. Like it would be like two people streaming at once. Like it would be chatting with us. It's like watching the stream would be like hanging out with with two brothers, something like that. Like it's a very casual. Not like it's, yeah. It might be interesting. So yeah, me teaching my little brother how to program. I think, what's this, like 6 years? So he's 6 years younger than me. So it's like 26, 27 now? Yeah. What do you think? Does it sound interesting? Does it sound like a good idea? Battlebot? Stake user does. Yeah, user killbot. Vault is empty. It's like a fun idea. Yeah, I think so as well. Definitely has potential. And well, I guess all of the rest depends on the execution. Because, you know, like as with many things, yeah. It's not what you're doing, it's how you're doing that matters. The callbacks and so on. I can sort these later. Oh, start menu, I actually can't. This has to be there. Yeah, I guess that's just the same things. Alright. So yeah, that was really cool. I was kind of surprised, like, how well received that was. Like my stream in general. It definitely looked, especially now with the new layout, with well, I can't really show it. Well, I can see it on stream. With the layout, it's really cool. It looks professional, and like the most important thing that the audio is not bad. Like I'm not like it's not filled with awkward pauses. It flows. It watches like it watches like a continuous thing. Like you can definitely just jump in and follow along. It's not like you have to watch from the beginning to know what's happening. Like it's like, you know, well, hopefully you know what I mean. Something like that. So it has that. Yeah, and it's not a good idea to be. Well, maybe it's not a good idea to be. What's the right expression? Blowing your own trumpet? Yeah, that doesn't. It might have other meanings, but yeah, praising yourself is not probably a good idea. But it definitely seemed like it meets the minimum requirement. So yeah, I think, but since my brother has a day job, it would probably mean that I would have to do it in the evenings. So I guess in the mornings I would be coding something like this, and in the evenings I could do the series with him, where we go probably through some exercises. Well, yeah, I guess I would have to figure out what's his baseline. Well, probably very no. His understanding probably is very superficial. And then, yeah. Okay, well, right. Where I was going with this, I can't remember. There was another thing I was talking. Oh, right. Last stream you said like you really would like the stream to be bigger, like to have more viewers. And I explained that I don't really like it's not what I'm looking for. I'm not really chasing that, but I think I came up with a good compromise where I can purposely move towards becoming a larger streamer and don't feel like I'm selling out or just chasing whatever's popular, like not doing the things I talked about in the last stream where you have to keep tabs on what's trending, what people want to hear about, doing research like that. That doesn't really benefit me as a developer because I want to be developer first and content like a streamer. Like I would like to be like an educational type of streamer, not entertainment oriented streamer. So doing research on what's trending and what's hot, what people are interested in doesn't really fit well with that, in my opinion. So what I came up with is to have like when I was thinking what happened with build competition. So that's a really good example. I think it should be something. So it gave me an idea for a structure, for a storyline. Let's say like a story or arcs. Like the build competition could be called one arc of one project and one huge failure in the end. But I shouldn't be discouraged by it. I think I should strive to have more arcs, more projects like that, like projects that last like 2 months or so. Well, around that, like it seems like a reasonable time because in 2 months you can actually do something and without overly investing in it, but it's enough time to actually make something useful or something you can show off, something that should produce some sort of result. And yeah, so I think I need to plan out streaming in like 2 month projects, chunks, arcs, like whatever you want to call them. And so what's the benefit, what's the upside, what's the long-term plan, what's the end game for that is what does it give? It eventually either I do something successful and it blows up, and that brings in viewers, because if something is successful and there's like a documented process how someone got there, so that definitely would attract people, in my opinion. I think you would get a baseline of viewers, like you would get like a certain amount of viewers who are interested in that, and that would be one way. I would be really happy to get to grow my stream that way. Like that would be, I think we both would be satisfied in that case. I get to do something that's good and widely used, or well, something that's successful. And from your point of view, the stream would be larger. I would have more viewers, and there would be more people to interact with, and so on. And there's another way, but so there are two alternatives. Either the project at the end is successful, or it crashes and burns like my build competition. it ends up in a failure. It's such a big it was quite a spectacular failure to be outranked in the final rankings by a build done in a couple hours. My build that took 2 months to build, streaming pretty much each day for 5 to 6 hours, was outdone by a build that took like, I'm not sure, 10 minutes in Blender, and one evening building it in Minecraft. So so it should be either success or a spectacular failure in the end. And if I have enough failures, I think that's a quality of its own. Like there's a saying that quantity is a quality of its own. So imagine if there's a streamer that keeps failing, like someone who keeps aiming higher and higher and keeps failing harder and harder. Like that's something to be like, it should reach a point where it is an attraction by itself. Like it's like a train wreck, but like a really slow motion train wreck. Like, so, those are the extremes, I think. But, well, hopefully eventually I would make something that's like good. Like, I have a baseline of users. Like, having a couple of thousand users is good starting point. Like, it's not like I'm starting from nothing. Like, well, now there's only 580 of them, but you know what I mean. I have like, but my database has like 7,000 users, and so hopefully I can build up from something from that. So how does that sound? Does that sound like a sensible plan? What do you think about that? Let's see. Continue. While you think about it, I will try to start this battlebot functionality some way. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I think it works. It gives like you should have one fun day too. Okay, what should I do on the fun day? Because for fun I watch well, I don't really watch. I watch political news. Well, that's what I'm interested in. what I watch, and I play it something that's not difficult, but no, like currently I'm playing naval action. Like it's not really all that fun. So yeah, give me an example of what would be fun. Maybe having a server event where we can, but yeah, well, okay, I'm open to that ideas, but what could that be? Well, a lot of Shark Tank these days. I never watched Shark Tank. Seems like it looks like a different flavor of soap operas. So I don't know why startup ideas interest me. Like, I'm not sure. Well, from what I've seen, It only has, well, I guess you can argue that most ideas are just bad ideas. But those on Shark Tank usually are just bad, from what I've seen. I have no idea. I haven't actually watched it on purpose. Like, I've seen like bits and pieces here and there, so my understanding is very limited. Expiration date. Let's copy this line as well. India has own version of it and it looks good. Okay, well, local stuff, yeah, I can definitely see it being well, more interesting, hopefully. So what do you like about it? Like, why? Because I don't really get the appeal. Oh, I guess it has to have one, like a certain demographic that it appeals to. Otherwise, it won't be on TV. But what it tries to appeal to, whom it tries to appeal to, I have no idea. Just the ideas. Okay. So just hearing people ideas. Yeah, well, I have a lot of ideas. I could do a Shark Tank of my own ideas, I think. Let's see. So we could have. I need to think about it. Maybe we could incorporate those into the fun days somehow. Like having some sort of competition-like thing for different ideas. So along the week, maybe we could win every tank. Yeah, something like that. Well, I don't want to clone the name from Shark Tank. I don't think it should be based on it. But like the competition would be like separate from the ideas. So no competition. I mean, there should be a clear winner at the end. Well, if I could get my brother to come on regularly, maybe start development skills. Imagine like. The only thing I could think of when I thought of this idea was from Rick and Morty, two brothers. Like if you remember that reference from what's its name, multidimensional TV. So that I don't think that's the name. But yeah, like there was a show called Two Brothers, and it kept going on and piling on and so on. Like. Well, it had so many sequels and so on, so we could do that, like, oh, my brother is cool. So we could definitely do things like that easily. Let's see, logging singleton. Oh. So that was the only thing I was thinking about, is two brothers. The commercial, yes, it was the commercial about two brothers. So we could be actually two brothers doing stuff, and like, well, he's my brother, like he's not gonna go anywhere. Like he has, basically, if he starts doing this with me, like I don't see how he would just, he couldn't just bail on me. Like if I started collaborating with some random person, like if he just decided like one day he doesn't like. Well, problem with that is you don't really know what you're getting into, like from both sides. Like the guy who would be collaborating with me doesn't know what he would be getting into, and I don't know what kind of person he is. Like it would take a long time to reach a point where we'll like know each other well enough, so we know what to expect from other party. And if I start right off the bat with my brother, like we knew each other like like for as long as you can, like Like, he's the closest thing I have to family, like, because he is my family. So, you know. And he's really, yeah, he's a really cool guy as well. So, I think it definitely, this idea has legs. I'm not sure about his English, though. Just plan. just one day, yeah. Yeah, that's not sure. Camera. It's I've well, I'm trying to remember what I've seen, but I can't really recall. I can't even recall what her face looks like. She sleeps while. Oh, you know what? Instead of the starry background behind the code, I should have an Amaranth stream behind me in the background. I code, and in the background you can see Amaranth sleeping. That would be the color. That could be a cool setup. So, well, yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, I think it could be done. Well, you're the guy who made the background. Like, make the background like that, and yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the viewership will not be a problem. Yes, exactly. Well, the quality of the viewership might be an issue at that point, but you know, to take yeah, well, I guess you have to take the good with the bad. Can't really be too picky at that point. Save, start menu, cancel, menu ending, kill, expiration date, file days. Okay, looks good. Guess I'll just copy all of it. How do I have this in my killbot? In my debug? Does it actually print out something? I think it no. Oh, it returns here. Okay. Yeah, I need to connect to the database first. Forgot about that. Actually, I remembered before I did. Well, before I did run the program for the first time. Not here. Here. Yeah. So it should, when I press a new killbot, it should print out the killbot. Dream idea. How about a little dinosaur game playing on auto in the bottom of the screen while no background? There's no background. That sounds like a project. Like, this sounds like one of the like 2-month things. If you're talking about me coding it, I can definitely see it like being able to do that 2 months, like to create it from scratch by myself, like by my own version. Because the game when no internet works, the Chrome game, yeah, I know that one. It's oh, you want it to be in the background, so just. But that game actually requires you to play. Like, it requires input from the person sitting at the browser. I guess it could be done. So where did it print it? Oh, debug is not on. Let's see, where's my logging? Info. Killbot. Let's do the debug. Not sure this is gonna be reloaded. Yeah, but there is a command for it to play automatically. Oh, there is. Right. How could I do that? Yeah, I guess I could have. Yeah, I can set it up, I think. And that shouldn't be too difficult. I can do it for the next. Do you want to see? Well, do you want to try setting it up now? Well, what do you think? Should I try setting it up now, or should I set it up for the next stream? Well, set it up off stream for the next stream. What do you think? I can do both. I'm just not sure if you want to to stop this. This quality entertainment is an idea. Yeah, it is. It's definitely it definitely can be done. No problem. It would take me a couple of minutes of fiddling around, and I imagine I could make it work. At least do a dry run. But yeah, it would. Well, the stream would be broken most likely at some point for a period of time. And you know, people would be missing out on this quality entertainment. Well, education. Edutainment. Let's see. Menu. Now let's rerun it. Maybe I can actually try that, now that I think of. Because I'm still not at 100%. Handle on message. Doesn't look like it actually worked. From the database. Doesn't print anything. I was using the wrong new bot menu. Bot menu is new bot menu logger? What? Oh, new bot menu logger, and here new kill bot menu logger. I am using new bot menu instead of new kill bot menu. Kill bot. This is how it should be done. So what did you think about my idea of 2-month projects, which well, most often would result in a failure, like much like the build competition where I was hoping to win the competition and I didn't even get an honorable mention. But this button press. It doesn't actually do anything, any of this. Killbot menu. Test debug. This is bizarre. Killbot. What? A helper. So new bot is this. Actually, it's not even here. It's here. The only stuff, well, mostly the stuff from this this thing is logged. Huh. Something is not right with my logging, it seems. I don't really care actually. Well, that will be something I will have to sort out in the end, because I don't really rely on logging. Like, I will have to set up proper logging just for monitoring purposes, so I could actually make out what's going on with an application when it's running on a server. But for now I don't really need the log output. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. So new killbot, new battlebot, that's what I should be looking at. J.K. Azores made, like, well, there's I watched quite a lot of mod videos. I was playing the dinosaur game. Okay, how did it go? Did you reach the end? Do you get scored at the end? Does it have an end? Bot, Hikari implementation, and new bots. I think that's what I'm looking for. Very close to making the top 5. Top 5 today's high scorer. Okay. I wonder what's the name of the leaderboard? Yeah, so is the leaderboard global? Because if it's global, that's kind of impressive. Well, also maybe people just don't play it. Let's see. I think it's on Firefox, right? Can I? Let's try dinosaur. Blah blah. Dinosaur game, right? Chrome. Oh, it's a Chrome one. Play on Poke.com. Ah, so. Game over. Okay. So it is a Chrome game. ChromeDino.com. Okay. Let's see. Ah. 2300. Wow, 60,000. Someone really. Guess. What is your best score? Now cheats. What was the last one? 200. How do I play it? Al Dino game. Download PNG SVG. Huh. Okay, one is bad, one logs too much. Yeah, I don't really know directs of the hidden game from Chrome official mods. Press space to start the game. Oh. Sad. 165, okay. Yeah. Wait, it has an option, which... This one has an option to play automatically, or the one in the actual browser has an option? Will it play automatically? I don't think it will. Oh, I already started playing by myself, so... Oh, it indicates, it gives you a sound when you reach 100. Okay. Damn it. 300. Oh, okay. 2000. Okay, that's. I'm not gonna play for that long. Okay. So we did that. So setting that up in the background, not sure. I guess I need to figure out how to make it play in the automatically. Then I need to make it of reasonable size, because the problem with it making it in the background, there's a few lines of code when you enter in the console. Oh, it starts auto-playing. Okay, but the problem with it doesn't really have that much height. So basically, on stream in the background, like it would be playing in this. So either you won't be able to see the terrain, so the dinosaur, if you want it to be jumping like at least up to here, to half of the height, that means the dinosaur by itself would be like this high, and you don't. Well, maybe it would work. Not sure. I guess there's only one way to find out. Just need to set it up and see what happens. Like, for that? What do you mean? I'm thinking about how much of the background it would actually it would use. Everything which is now remains same. Yeah, I get that, but it has a dinosaur jumping in the background as well. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about it as well. I don't want it to be like really tiny, like as it is now. Yeah, I get what you mean. Let's see. Let's go back to the website. Sure why this happened, but yeah, you see how small it is. Like, it's really small. So imagine like if it's that size and it's here, like in the corner. Like, it's not that big, and it jumps like how much? And so maybe 2.5 times its own height. Let's see. Yeah. So if it's this small, up to here, up to this line, let's say, so it might jump up to here. So that's the issue I'm talking about. Like, it won't be using all that much space. Like, there would be a lot of dead space. Well, maybe that's not a bad thing as well. Maybe it's okay. Try. Menu, custom buttons. Okay, I need to figure out the translation first. And I want to sneeze. I want to sneeze so bad. Let's see. Wait. Let's see. Autoplay, T-Rex. Chrome game. Extension? Code pen IO. JavaScript. Yes, there are plenty of solutions. See what the description says. Seems like it has an explanation about that. Oh, I guess the background is not white on stream. That's good. Anti-flashbang protection working. just the letters have a weird white background, weird white shadow. Right, T-Rex game, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, autoplay loop, distance before jump. How do I actually make it autoplay? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I see. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like that's the same thing I was thinking about. Well, I was thinking maybe replacing this starry background with whatever background is the game. I don't think it really matters all that much. It could be done. But the issue I'm saying, I would like, if I want to have something moving in the background, I would like it to be moving like everywhere. I don't want it to be just something at the very bottom. Maybe it's fine. I'm not really sure. Starry background remains. Yes, I agree. I like it. I could even have an animated version. Would be really cool, in my opinion, as well. But that would require to have like a well, can MP4 be transparent? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. If T-Rex jumping, if autoplay loop, finds autoplay loop. See. Guess I need to write in console autoplay loop true. Or maybe I need to call this. So the background remains. Okay. Oh, it's just a small part of stream. You don't need to give all attention to it. Yeah, guess so. That could be definitely an option. Can enter something here. Ah, you take a blank HTML file. I think, yeah, I could, yeah, definitely can be done that way. Oh, it has audio as well. Sure. Yeah, well, maybe audio could be deleted. Well, I guess I can tweak the code. Like, I'm a programmer after all. I'm a developer, so shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll take a look at this. Database password. Guessed it from the first time. Right. Translations. I need to sort out the translations. Where's my classifier? Here, new bot menu, new killbot, new battlebot. Oh, this is logger. Loggers, menus. Bot. And these are the buttons. And delete bot new battlebot menu. This. Find the section. The searches of stream. Search window opens in the middle of the screen, or not in the middle of your window. That's odd. Okay, well, whatever. Something. Hopefully I won't need that anytime soon. Name in list. So you can just copy this list title. monitor the server webhook. No webhook. I think this is all good. Okay, let's not copy the. Okay, oh, I'll fix that later. So these two shouldn't be, well, since they are the same. Actually, these are supposed to be the same as well. Oh, I do this. No webhook, the skillbot message, nothing to monitor. Yeah, all of these can move to the general section. Here. Learning C is quite new. Never knew C can only take 32-bit integers. Well, now you know. I didn't know it either, so, you know. I never actually learned C. C++ is what I dabbled in university, but mostly because university was teaching basics of programming in, well, and their language of choice was C++. Then they switched to Java at later time, like in later years. So yeah, I played around a little bit with it. I never done any development, like proper development in C++. Do you know every computer in the world stopped at 1st January 2000? Well, no, well, that's not what happened. Because of the way they set up now. So there was a big. So what you're talking about is Y2K. That's like Y2K. Oh, any letters K. Probably switch keyboard. Oh, yes. Yeah. So Y2K. Google that. Stopped time. It's not that it stopped time. Like, okay, explain to me why the time stopped. Because from what I know, the actual theory going around was, or the whole scare was about that because of the how a lot of computers at the start of like the first generations that still have been used at the year 2000, they didn't really store the full year, so the year had only two numbers, which was like the last two year numbers. So if it was like year 91, they'd save 91 as a year for just to represent the year in the date. So the idea was so the scare was when the year 2000 comes around. So how does that stop time? Like that, it doesn't make sense, because Y2K wasn't about the time being stopped or machines thinking that the time stopped. And it was about that the dates, well, just because of 00 being lower number than 99, it would think that it went back in time. Like everything that compared dates and had to be done synchronously based on the date. Like there was something had to be done after that, or that like all the checks that checked the date that it actually has been done before something else would fail, because well, the dates are now like now current date would be 00 year, and it just well, when the new 2000 year comes along, like the like at that moment, like a couple of moments ago, just after the new year, date used to be 99. So, you know, it's something that I don't know the whole story. The other one is coming in 2031 something. Well, you know, it was a bunch of crap then, and I imagine it's gonna be a bunch of BS by the year 2031 as well. I think year 21 is because the size of the integer will overflow or something like this for certain situations. Like it's not something I would be worried about. I think the smallest integer used to indicate date might overflow at that point. The reason it's not because it stores time, it's a little bit more complicated. If you get the time in seconds, it measures seconds from the start of the computer like age, which is, well, it counts from 1971, some specific date. 32-bit limit, yeah. So the integer will overflow at that point, but nah, it's not an issue, in my opinion. Well, it will be an issue for old applications that won't take this into account, but you know, I'm sure we'll come up with a solution by then. Also, it's not, well, actually it's not that far away, 9 years. So if you're planning your applications to be running in 9 years, you need to start thinking about it. Or well, what most likely what will happen is there will be a big rush in 2030 to update the libraries that manage dates. So, you know, that's probably what will happen. Now I know what's the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit computers. Yeah, 32-bit computer, like 32-bit OSs, like are not a thing anymore. Like no one uses 32-bit. Well, there are certain cases, like maybe your phone OS is 32-bit, but otherwise, like all desktop normal operating systems are 64-bit pretty much. Like it's very rare you would use 32-bit if you can. Like you can use 64-bit. Like there's very little benefit. Yes, it will be a little bit more memory efficient because it will take less space to save same amount of data, but who takes that into account when choosing which operating system to use? 64-bit operating system supports more software, and that's it. Like, like that's the deciding factor when you decide to install 32-bit or 64-bit operating system. And it's kind of a norm now that you don't even give a choice. You just install 64-bit version and that's it by default. And if you really want to, you might be able to install 30, but it will take, you would be going out of your way to install 32-bit OS. So yeah, and then maybe the problem will be solved that way, because in 64-bit OSs, integers, you just map integers to 64-bit yeah, you use 64 bits to store an integer and that's it. So it's nothing's gonna happen. There won't be any issues. Like there weren't any issues in well, so people said that, oh, the planes will start falling from the sky, and so like all the computers will break and everything. Like that was the big scare for Y2K. Y2K, like talking about January the 1st, 2000, because that's how it was called. If you Google Y2K, and then you can read more about it. But back then, yeah, people said a bunch of bad stuff will happen. So in actuality, from what I know, like some vending machines stopped working. Everything else worked just fine. Like, or either it was fixed in time, or it wasn't important, and like it kept working. So you know, it wasn't anything like people were doubting it might be. So I'm not too worried. but you know, it's an interesting thing to learn about. It is part of the history now, part of IT history. Can you call it IT? Computer history. Water is good. And I was actually, yeah, I was sorting out translations and completely forgot about that. So errors, I will move to errors. Test skillbot message, that's a good question. Wait, where did I move it from? Why was it in new? Wait, what? Thought it was in bot. Test skill bot. Get translation, test skill bot message. Killbot menu. Why am I using a killbot menu? Let's use bot menu. This bot menu is general. Bot, claim bot. New bot menu. Oh, it refers something else. Okay. I guess it can be. Okay, let's leave it in killbot menu. And this can be moved back. So, yeah, I'm not sure if this is a good approach. Because, yeah, it doesn't really make much sense. You know what? Let's move it to messages. Do I have messages? I have names. Yes, I use errors for messages. That's an issue. I guess since I already use it like that, let's keep doing that. The test message. Menu. It's errors. Wait. Menus, errors. Oh. That ADHD music sounds like installer music. Yeah. Well, it's. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I kind of like it. Maybe I should start a new classifier. Buttons, errors, messages. What's the fallback? Pretty sure the fallback is go back to the checks the section and checks names. Name section is the fallback. Yeah, let's put it in the name section and be done with this. And this is right next anyways. Interstellar. Oh, Interstellar. I didn't. Interstellar. I might have seen it. I'm not sure which. Like, my memory is failing me here. Interstellar. I think I've seen it. Oh yeah, I did. So this is where the gravity is different and someone waits in orbit for 50 years. And the guys from the thing come back and they haven't aged, like they age like hours or days. I'm remembering correctly. Because it seems something like that. Or was it something else? I think I've seen, but yeah, 2014, like. If I watched it like close to when it launched and maybe a year or two after. and yeah, I don't remember things like that, things that happened so that long ago. Well, yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, the movies I've seen when I was young, I can remember quite well. The movies I've seen when I was like in my mid-20s, like those just they don't leave the same impression the movies do on you when you're younger. So they are just not that memorable, at least from my experience. The Chrome looks so good with this background. Yeah, Chrome, like everything looks pretty good. Like I really like how it turned out. Like especially I like the flashbang protection, because you well, let's see, this is white. Yeah, so this is white on my screen. It's completely white, and yeah, on like it's you can see it's white because all the text has a white background, like a white shadow. But yeah, it definitely looks really good. I changed something here. Oh. Edit bot name. I need something here. Guess I can just add. Oh, if it won't find a section, it will complain. Right. Let's leave whatever it was here before. Kill bot menu. Let's leave it as bot menu. Like if none of these will have the value, like we'll use that. Right, test message. Relation comes from this place. So I can continue with the actual battlebot. Right, edit battlebot. Operation description, current. Guess I need to copy it from the old translation. Battlebot configuration. So this is how it should look like. Killbot, battlebot. Oh no, this is the menu. Creation date. Current battlebot configuration. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. All the fields needed. Battlebot. Current battlebot configuration is this. Name, alliance, build, webhook. I guess I can put a new line character here. Maybe webhook could be done at the very end. Yes, I'll do that. Like this. Right. Number of participants, language, and list players flag. Right. What else do I need? Have a title, name and list. Title description. Oh yeah, this is part of the description. I'm missing list title. select next step. I guess, yeah, this makes sense. Now I just need to set the right properties. When I populate the configuration. Do you watch short content like 30 seconds, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels? I really, well, it's very rare to find something that I would like to watch. I usually do, but well, if I see something interesting, I do, but it usually stops really fast. It's messing up with my focus, I think. Yeah, well, it's intentionally done so, because well, that's the point of it. Like, if I see like a good question posted and like the explanation or the answer is a short, I would watch it, but I won't click on the next one, like, because you know how people are attracted to the, what's the splash screen? No, thumbnail. Yeah, so to thumbnails. So basically it's just expanding on the same concept that people could be clickbaited on to click or start watching a video because of the thumbnail. So this is same thing but for shorts. Like, it doesn't even have a video to show. It just basically going through thumbnails, and yeah, so it's just clickbait, like clickbait on steroids. That's how I see it, and that's how it seems to be designed. Like, it doesn't really have any content. Like, yeah, the clickbaits, like, it's all about clickbait. All engagement is clickbait driven these days, and on TikTok and YouTube really wants to get in on that action, but I think they will regret it in the end. It will, well, I guess it won't hurt their bottom line, which is probably the most important thing to them, but the user experience, and like, it will be a Facebook situation in the end, where Facebook now has to explain itself. How the algorithm on TikTok is so advanced, it just don't let you leave the app. Yeah, well, I don't even have TikTok, so I trust you on that. Like, if I see pretty girls in short skirts dancing, like, I would watch those. I would watch one after another. That's how it is. That's how our lizard brains are wired. So, you know, we're simple creatures. You can easily exploit those primitive behavior patterns like that, and it doesn't do you any good. So I would rather not. Like, it's like drugs. It's very similar. Like, in comparison, YouTube Shorts algorithm is quite bad in terms of TikTok. You know, it's bad because it doesn't have the user base. Like, it's trying to incorporate your previous knowledge about you. Like, at least from what I've seen, it thinks that it has an advantage because it has a user base that they know what their preferences are. So, for example, they know what type of content I'm more like. There's a better chance of me sticking around to watch. TikTok is not just pretty girls. Well, it's not that it's just an example of what would make me to just keep looking at it. That's the first example that comes to my mind. I'm sure there are, but because TikTok will be full of whatever people watch. That's like how it works. My feed is the most adventurous and nice place. Yeah, so you watch like whatever is interesting to you. Like, I'm a single guy in my 30s. Like, you know, my priorities might be a little bit different. So, you know, it's like, you will be clickbaited by whatever, like, you're interested in. So, you know, I'm not really into travel myself. I'm not really looking a way to travel anywhere. Like, travel is like something you do if you have to. Like, it's not something I do for fun or just for I don't like. It's an interesting experience, but I haven't really go out of my way to find where to travel or try to organize one or something. It's just different people look for different things, and that's why TikTok has different varieties of content. So if I went on TikTok, looked at a pretty girl, the next suggestion will be another pretty girl that, like, it just knows. A lot of people that watch this will like it has 90 something percent click-through rate, well, retention rate, if we suggest this girl and this girl. So eventually it will get filled with the same type of content really fast. So that's why you see like it looks like there's just the same thing, like this, the same type of content that you really like. It's just there. It's just because of how it's set up. Like it's dumb, it's exploitative, and doesn't do you any good. So in the end, if YouTube, well, TikTok is a Chinese company, so accountability will be zero. No one will care, and like no, well, people might be outraged and so on, but yeah, nothing can actually be done because the company is from China, and Chinese government, they encourage companies to exploit Western audiences as much as they can. Tinder is the better place to start. Yeah, well, Tinder has its different use. So Tinder is, yeah, well, we can talk about this maybe some other time. It's I don't think it has very little to do with tech. But I'm just talking about algorithms. So TikTok doesn't. Yeah, I understand that TikTok has lots of variety of content, but it's just because people are interested in variety of things, and you can clickbait people by variety of things. So yeah, as you said, your TikTok is filled with travel adventure videos with a bunch of nice places as well. I imagine you would love to go and explore those places yourself. Like, yeah, that would be, if you have $1 million, I imagine that would be like if you won a lottery, like if you had like access to like if money was no factor and you would have a choice, what would you like to do? That would be your first choice. Go and travel and visit, like see nice places. So you know, that type of content can be used to clickbait you. That's it. If I had $1 million, like if I won a lottery right now, I would go out and start a family. Oh, you know, that's my priority number one, if money was no factor. So you see, like, it's more of live there. I think, well, if money was no factor, I think you would go to one place, because there are so many interesting places. I don't think you would be satisfied just by going to one place and just settling there. I think you would want to visit more, like the places are drastically different, and some places are like, it depends on the time of the year when you're visiting. Some places look really nice at certain times of the year and so on, like seeing a Grand Canyon, seeing New York City, seeing Taipei, for example, like visiting visiting Japan. I'm not sure, like there are a bunch of really nice places like that have a very different feeling, a very different history behind it, that are just worth seeing. There are some things, like I would like to visit some of the old gulags that are still there, because like I read just because of the things I've done, like, well, that might sound bad out of context, but I read Gulag Archipelago, so I have a different appreciation for that sort of place. So I would like to go and see, like first person, how it looks like, what's left of it at least, and what kind of scenery all of this all of these things that I read about happened, because you know. So what was my point? Was there a point? Welcome to the Gulag COD. What is COD? COD? Call of Duty? That's all I can think. Gulag COD. Yeah, I have no. Yeah, that's that reference. There's not enough runway to land it. For that to land, it flew over my head. Right, tons. Tons. Did I copy? Oh, custom buttons. Okay. Call of Duty. Yeah, it's not about it. It's not like that. It's gulags were not meant to be a place to kill people. Like, people just died there, just because of how brutal it was. There was a map, I think. Oh, Call of Duty. Yeah, I barely played that game. Like, first-person shooters, like early 20s. Like, I just didn't care for them anymore. Like, I used to play them at before I was like 21, 22. After that, I just, yeah. So I haven't touched them since, pretty much. A map, yeah, well, yeah, map based on that is, you know, is something different. It wasn't meant to be an accurate representation. It was meant to be a playable map. I play. Oh yeah, I played PUBG, right? A little bit. So that would be. That pretty much would be the last shooter I played. We could have a stat stream someday. We could. Wait, you said you were pretty good at PUBG, right? Yeah, you would have to teach me. you would be the one guiding me then, because I played it a little bit, but you know, yeah, it's a very high skill cap shooter, I would say. Like, it's fun to play when you're just fumbling around and with loot and like messing with gear, different configurations and so on. Like, that's but to actually be good at it, yeah, it takes a lot of practice. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I can definitely see, like, having a fun day, as you say, is like playing a game like this, but where I can actually collaborate, like team game, like PUBG. Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we could do that. Maybe even today, as a test. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I guess we need to decide on when people have time. Well, since you're the only viewer, pretty much, all of that, like, you have, like, imagine yourself being 1,000 players, 1,000 people. Like, you're the chat in a large stream, and you have like 100% vote. Like, if like, when you see chats demanding something or being upset with something or so on, like, you're basically that to me. Like, I don't really care that it's only one person behind that. It's or 1, 10, or 100, or 1,000 people. Like, you still need to react appropriately. Like, you need to take into account your chat. So I think it's a good way of, well, as a streamer, I think it's a good way of looking at it. Maybe. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. Hopefully that makes sense in some way. So yeah, if you, yeah. So when would you think it could be done? Or, yeah. brain is not responding. Okay. Yeah, it probably didn't make much sense. I didn't really develop that thought all that well. But basically, yeah, I need to, well, if I want to collab, well, I need someone to collab with, and yeah. So when can we do that? When can we do the PUBG stream? It's PUBG I haven't played in a while, but yeah, we definitely come back to that. I think it should be fine. I'm not sure. Does it work on 1,000 people? Is a lot. Yeah, but I'm saying the principles stay the same. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people in chat or one. Like I even figured out a nice way of growing stream. Like if afternoon stream is good for it. Yeah, and yeah, it wouldn't be a morning stream. It would be an evening stream, and just the question when, which day? Is it today? Can we do it today? Because I can set it up for today as well. PUBG would look weird. Yeah, it would look odd. Yeah. It's having the same layout, but instead of development screen, you have PUBG. Yeah, that would be odd. Maybe just PUBG in the background? Something like that? Yeah, I need to think now. Yeah, that's a good question. Right. The players. Depends on you. Well, as I said, it all depends on you actually, because I can do whenever. Like I'm unemployed and I'm streaming each day, anyways. So I'm streaming every day. We can have a different layout for game stream, I think. Oh, you're talking about the layout? Yeah. Well, I think about something. Well, because when you're streaming a game, like, yeah, one of those layouts you showed where a lot of space is taken, like a lot of space is just wasted for random stuff, I guess. Yeah, this could be modified for that. I'm not sure. Not sure how important it is to see the whole screen. Because when I'm watching someone play a game, like if I was watching a streamer play a game, I'm very annoyed when I can't really full screen and see the whole window as he does, as the person who's streaming does, because of the weird borders and so on. Like those, I personally find those things annoying when I'm watching, so I don't really want to use them unnecessarily. It works for development stream. I'll give you that. That really looks. It doesn't really interfere with viewer experience, viewing experience. If anything, it adds something. It adds structure. But when it's a game, I think it's a different story. So I probably would just stream the game. It's by itself, and that would be it. Much like what I did with Minecraft. Just have a chat overlay and that's it. I think that works for for playing games. So that's probably what I would start with, and yeah, if needed, I could change that in the future. Right. Plot menu. I actually pass along all the variables. That's here. Battlebot. Right. Every time logo remains logo? I don't have a logo. You mean my illustration of me in the corner? Yeah, that can stay. That's not not distracting too much. I don't think it would be blocking anything either. I not remember where is your vehicle hit points, on which side when you're in the vehicle. I don't. Maybe it's not in the corner. Well, okay, whatever. We'll see. Buttons. Oh yeah, I heard PUBG is has such a low player base that now, like, there is a good chance that you run into bots. Like you're playing with a bunch of bots, basically. So the difficulty is a lot lower. Or I'm not sure. Maybe the bots are really good. To the valves? Hold on, see, how do I populate the values? I need to remind myself how it's all done. Set name. Huh. Oh, it's only true for lower leagues. Oh, there are leagues now. Well, I would be definitely at the bottom because I haven't even played when. Yeah, I played before there were leagues. And I imagine those been around for quite a while. Yeah, I wonder how it would sort it out. So if we played in a team, how it would match us. I guess it would be unranked or something, like a random game, or I'm not sure how it works. Need to think about this one. What menu? So you have a menu item. So if I do a new kill bot, turns the menu. Oh, context, the description fields. Okay, that makes sense. Open this part. Kind of important. Fixed average. Okay. Oh, okay, it will be interesting. We try those things to get better rank. Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, your rank will. Well, I guess if you don't really play it anymore, you don't really care about your rank. Playing with low league players, so that our opponents are weak. Yeah. So for you, it will be a cakewalk, and I will get wrecked. That's what you're saying. Oh, okay. That's that certainly will be an experience, I guess. Right. So, context. Okay, at the end, I return the menu. Return. I don't really like how the scroll bar is pretty much on the line where text is. It's a little bit odd. Right. These are some long lines. Let's see, so the fields I need to populate are name first, then alliance, okay. Then guilds, that's good. Now minimum number of participants. Okay, instead of players I have value. Have anything else? Seems like this is the whole list. And value is the one, yeah. Value. When I played I was at the second topmost league, max. Never reached Conqueror first league. Okay. Well, if you played it seriously, then yeah, I would expect nothing else. Then language and list players. Wait, where's the webhook? Oh, it's a new line. Okay, need to remember that. So webhook goes to the back. So I have language, webhook. We need that formatting for this. Right, so language and list players. Okay, I'm going ahead of myself, I'm losing track. So minimum value is minimum number of players. Then goes language, so we can just delete this. And list players, so this is either true or false. So, okay, killbot. Show player names, I think that's the value I'm talking about. Maybe I should change the description. Show player names, I think that's more descriptive of what this option actually is. Show player names. Right, show. I don't like, oh, it doesn't know that killbot is of type bot. Okay, whatever. Player name, you need to convert it to string, because I don't think it will accept boolean. Right, and or bool value. Webhook at the end. Min value, this needs to be converted as well. This is an integer, but this one doesn't really formatting because it's a low integer. So it goes, yeah, up to 400. Well, 400, yeah, hundreds maybe, 3 digits. Right. So description should be fine. Right. What default values need to be changed? Save callback. Right, min value, show player names, that needs to be set as well. False. Make that the default. How do I actually do that in my old configuration? Let's see. My list, select battlebot, so yeah, probably will show webhook, list players. Oh, yeah, that's different from what I remember. Yeah, so it's a number. Yeah, it's not a boolean, it's an integer, because it's a classifier value. So I need a classifier for this. Right. C class. Show static. Oh. Player name. Have it like this, and there are a couple of options. Set clear that listing individual player names. Right. So if I do this, yeah, you can see that there are 3 options. So don't list player names, list all player names, and list players only from the group monitored. Right. Well, I guess I can, yeah, just keep this above, so I can type and see it at the same time. So don't list. It's option 1. Then list all. Install option option 2. List monitored. Monitored. It's option 3, right? And this is. Did I do other classifiers? I think. Oh, the language is just auto value because I don't really care. Yeah, I don't think I did any other classifiers setting properties for the bots. Bot type, that's a good one. Bot types. Yeah, nothing different. That's fine. Okay. Oh, we need to change. Yeah, that brings me, reminds me. I actually need to do. Oh, okay. Extend singleton battlebot menu. Here, yeah, the type is no longer killbot. It's battlebot, and the default name will be battlebot. Guilds players can stay default to sure. I guess I'll just have it set. Right. Kinda need to go away for 10-15 minutes, so gonna be an intermission. Break. Oh, image. Let's look for an image. Yeah. Now I need to combine it with timer. This. And I don't want audio. Top reset. Should be back in 10 minutes. So let's make this. So, anything. Nope. Oh, it's video as well. Permission. Open image in new tab. Good. Mission. Oh, it's just transparent because it's black and white. Wow. Unlucky. Okay, this looks good. Check, I don't really have. Everything starts lagging. Will be right back. Start. Increase the size. Okay, I'm back. At the right time, it seems. Okay, let's turn this off, leave this or this. Okay. Make this proper size. Right. Welcome back. Well, I'm back. Right. I thought you were not here. For some reason it shows that I have one less viewer, so I thought you were gone. Right. Let's see. Killbot. I was about to test if this... Yeah, I guess it's time to check if it works. I'm back to... Okay. Perfect time. Can't get better than that. Yeah. Took a 5-minute nap? What? Oh, what? How does that work? Wait. Oh, the bot crashed. No, it didn't crash. Looks like it's not running. Started successfully. Oh, this is not the test bot. This is the test bot. Okay. I am confused. You can definitely tell that this was the first night I slept for a reasonable amount of time, a couple of days. Still don't feel at 100%. Start this. Okay. This, then create a new battlebot, and it crashed. Okay, index 7 of range. It's doing this. Index 7. Format. Get description. Right. Do I pass along more values than I have to, or is it missing values? Double check. It's the only thing that this could be is the description, which, well, description. Oh, I might be using the wrong classifier. Killbot menu, new killbot. Okay, it has to be battlebot. Okay, it tries to make a killbot menu out of this. Well, shouldn't work. Yeah, we can remove all of these options. Those are just empty list for now. Something like that. Right, start, try again. So taking a 5-minute nap, like, you must be really exhausted if you need to resort to stuff like this. Like you, okay, does work. Player name's false. Yeah. That's not what it should be. Oh. Right. How do I actually sort this out? Because, this is a classifier value that needs to be translated. Well, that's... Okay, I don't think I have a way to do this. Yeah, that might be a bit of an issue. Because if you take a look at the old bot, it has a classifier value which is like a normal readable string. But here, in the new implementation, I go to the menu. So take a look at the menu code. When it gets the description and it populates the values, oh, this is errors. Oh no, this is, yeah, so this is where it populates the description with values. It doesn't get the translation. Oh, that's... Maybe you should try? Maybe I should make it so it tries to get the value first. Let's see. Oh, that's gonna be some fancy coding. Not fancy, but So I need to make a list. Right, so I need a method that I can call. And that would return a list of values. It takes a list and returns a list. So what it does is checks if there is a translation for that thing in the same section. That's right. Options title. Wait, where does the translation done? Description. Assign it here. Oh, so this is where the translation happens. So I have menu ID. Well, menu ID stays. Just persistent. I think. Basic setup, yeah, so this will assign menu ID to self ID, okay. So I guess when I do the... Oh, actually it can be done here. I can check for menu descriptions. Now the question is, how should I actually do this? When I create an instance, whatever is passed along I can replace with something more useful maybe. Right. Get translation. This might need to be modified. So it wouldn't return. So if it doesn't find a translation, it looks in general case. And in the end, it returns a strike-through version of it. I think I need to change it so it returns the value itself. So the name of the field will be the value that it falls back that it falls back to. Okay, it has a lot of it has a lot of surface for conflicts with existing functionality though. Yeah, that's not a good way to do this. So the problem is that name is sometimes, yes, some of the values in some situations are user input. Well, it would be if I were to do it this way. See you soon. Okay, have a good lunch. I'll be here for an hour or so still. Right, this will have unintended consequences quite a bit. Might have. Oh, if it might, it will. Matter of time. Will someone decide, well, figures out a way to mess with it? Yeah, so that option doesn't work. I need a translatable thing. Oh, that's not good. explode list. Oof. Right, yeah, okay, this is an interesting problem. Well, not annoying problem. How do I actually translate those values without introducing a unintentional behavior? So I can't just reuse the same functionality. And I can't translate all the values I pass along as well. I guess when I assign it here, I have to translate in advance. I think that's the only option. How does it look in the database? That's a good question. So this is CP75543. Show player names. So I need a battlebot configuration, which would be I can't really see that it's still work. Yes, okay. Have it listed and battlebot. Let's use the payment number. Ooh, election failed. What? We're interrupted. I've seen this error before. Oh, now it worked. Okay, so I guess it didn't. Was executing two at once as a single one. Okay. So yeah, show player name. So yeah, this is just a classifier value. Okay. So I guess it just stores player names. But what's the unique? Show player names. Suggestions. The row name. Build. Oh, not a row. Capitalize. With names. Copy. Ooh, yeah. Okay, well, whatever. I guess I can just copy it from here. Their names. Oh, so that's why it's integer 1, so because it only has so few options. One integer is enough to store all of the choices. Show names. Configuration. Let's do it like this. Oh yeah, it will take a while. Oh no, it's interrupted. Oh, this is... Wait, what's wrong? Select? You have an error in your SQL. Hmm. Is it distinct? Oh yeah, it is distinct. Okay, not unique, distinct. Unique is used, yeah, when I creating constraints. Right. So yeah, 0, 1, or 2, or on set, not set, which is null. Right. What I will do, I will silence you and play something else. Have this playing in the background at audible levels, hopefully at least. Kinda silent, kinda quiet. Probably check it in my recordings. You can actually hear this. The viewers can hear this. Right. So okay, so the solution is to translate beforehand. Classifier is simple. Probably this is probably right. So all I need now. Do I need another classifier now? Their names. Can I have numbers? I think I can. Yeah. Okay, let's look here. I think I had, yeah, one. Yeah, so we can have labeled like fields named just by numbers. So I guess I'll just use these numbers as keys. I just need a new place for the section name. Well, all section names are in menus classifier. So I can use this just extended. Row their names. Not actually a menu. But should be fine. Right. Their names. It's kind of related with edit battlebot. Someone's just, oh yeah, someone actually paid for the bot. So I sold a bot during weekend. Haven't actually checked. Well, 10 euros, so nice. Oh, it looks like, yeah. I sent an invoice for 10 euros and then the invoice was paid, so I assume it's 10 euros. Well, that's good. Always nice to get income. Right. Pro player names. It should be next to the bot. New battlebot. So yeah, let's insert it here. Name and list. It's not actually used. Yeah, so it will only have 1, 3. So now now I can get the translation based on the classifier value. Okay, good. Right, so new battlebot menu. And the values. Oh, sorry, just had to sneeze. Right. Right, oh, that was a good sneeze. I save the values. See, show all player names. Should be somewhere here. Don't list player names. Yeah. Okay, so these are the options. These are the translations. So no player names is this. You can just do that. 2 and 3. Just like that. I have the translations. Now I just need player names. All looks good. And here, now instead of passing along show player names, I do the translation. So helper, get translation. Language will be the user language. I think we have access to user. Yeah, user. Yeah. That's why I pass it along everywhere. Language. Section will be this show player name. ConfigBot. Show player names. I think it must be a string. Do any conversion look like it? Section. This it does. If it doesn't find it, returns none. No translation, no conversion. Let's do the casting here. This. Not. And name is, wait, backwards. This is the name. Section comes from the classifier. OS. So classifiers. Someone just bought another one. Classifiers set. I'm gonna check now. So I sold one during the weekend and one just now, apparently, for another €5. Nice. Always good. Well, I would thank them if they were here, but well, I'm thankful still. Classifiers, bot types, as messages. What was the name? Name, show their names. No, it was as menus. Menu. Show player names. So that's the section, and this is the actual value I'm translating. Okay. So since the default value is what? 1. So I can just use this, the classifiers and say, have it. Classifiers, show names. Oh yeah. Okay. My brain is lagging. I guess this could be the default, because it probably is the most useful one. I want to see player names from your own group. yeah, you don't really want, like, you probably won't know people from other guilds or alliances that you are fighting. Well, you might, but you don't. I'd say like it covers, like, it's the most useful one, in my opinion. So now, if I do the same thing, I should get the translation properly. Won't have any unintended consequence. At least it shouldn't. Well, I can only hope. Keep it. Classify value. What's wrong with this? Integer value. Complaining about? Oh no. Has no attribute. Well, it apparently does. Classifiers is imported, right? What am I missing here? What's the typing it out, so can't be a typo. Oh. Well, first of all, what I did. Right? Should be here. Player name, integer, this, in value 0, because this represents minimum number of players. Oh, right, I can change that. So, battle report. How many players should be involved? I think like 10. If 10 people are involved, 10 players were involved, I think that warrants battle status or status. Let's make it 5, I guess, maybe. So if you're a group of gankers, like any engagement you have, like pretty much, like it's on the low end. How many people you need for gank? Like you can gank solo as well, but will be a lot more successful when ganking in a group. Yeah, so this is what you would need for a proper roaming ganking group, I would say, bare minimum. Battles are something different. So the game doesn't consider anything a battle if less than 3 players were involved, or less than 3 deaths occurred. Don't remember which one that is. But let's say 5 should be a good minimum. Start and complain about the same thing on a different field. Your names doesn't make names. Object. Pro player names. No attribute. Let's play list monitor. Oh, this is the so it's integer, which is value. That's a very very me type of mistake to make. So if I create battlebot, yeah, now it gets the translation properly. And number of participants 5-ish, anything else, and webhook at the end. Reasonable. Maybe I should structure it a little bit nicer. I have... Okay, let's play around with this a little. So... have it like this. So each line has a new property in it. Language. Their names. If I do it like this, look better. It might look better. I need to keep in mind that it will be followed by quite a few options. Save that. Start, so everything loaded. Two. Kind of works. I don't need this. I can have the same thing in the title. Run battlebot configuration. Alliance, yeah. Reddit, I can keep it like that. This. Alliance guilds. Language. Webhook. This will look a little bit cleaner. I guess I could do the same for the battlebot as well. For the name. I guess I could structure it a little bit. Okay. Can do it like this. Monitored. Alliances. Then have some space. Guilds. Yeah. Well, you can't monitor individual players with this, just guilds and alliances. This all makes sense. Right. Hopefully. So this takes up how many? 6 lines? Oh, it's so long it usually will... Oh, maybe I could move it somewhere... let's keep it like this. See how this looks? Oh, I don't have the button set up. I guess the most things will be reused from the killbot configuration, because the alliances are set the same way, guilds will be the set the same way, language same way, their names, yeah, this will be different. It's language. No, language. Oh yeah, that's the same. Webhook is the same way. How do you focus with that background? You think it's distracting? It's just my background. It's my backup background music. Is it too loud? It's very loud on the stream. I didn't check. Something I'm trying out. Usually I just listen to something like this. But it started playing a song I didn't really like, so I just switched to my fallback. Not the music? Oh, the background in the stream. Oh, let's keep it like this then. No, I don't see that background. That background is only seen on stream. It's yeah. It's not something I have to deal with. It's just for aesthetics, to make it look a little bit nicer. That's good. Okay. Well, what do you think? Get me worried. It's not something I would like for myself, but I think it looks nice for the viewers. It's it's not really nice if you try to actually read what's actually written there, but it is possible still. But still, I imagine like most of the people who are watching developers write code are not actually looking at like reading the code line by line. Like they might read like odd thing here and there, but otherwise like it's much more important to have it like look nice in general than have it like readability is secondary. That's what I'm saying. Is that a reasonable point of view? Like, does that make sense? Like, in your opinion? Gladiator. Yes, that is true. Yeah. So okay. So I'm not far off. At least I'm in the ballpark with my conclusions. Or yeah, that's probably not the right word. Well, whatever. Welcome. In any case. So I usually have like a couple of questions I ask people who come by my stream, and so like, what were you looking for? Like, how did you find me? Like, that's the type of question I usually ask. If you don't mind sharing, because I'm kind of interested, like, what people are looking for when they find me. What do they expect? Players. Yeah, I can reuse a bunch of functionality from the old bot. Let's just do some good old copy pasting like this. So I have all the menu items the same. Let's see, name, same guild, same players. That's not the same. Players. Did bot players, so yeah, this is gone. I need to replace it with something more useful. What is the order? Participants. Oh yeah, can do that. Well, actually, I can't do that yet because it's not implemented. Well, I guess it's something to be implemented. Well, or for the future. Let's have this line missing. Oh. So webhook is the same. This is gone. Language the same. Min fame. So yeah, min fame is actually, well, it sets the same value, but it represents a different. Okay. Right. So I guess. Well, I'm not sure what were you looking for. Still, I'm a basic graduate looking for a job in software development. Honestly, your stream looked the most interesting in the software and game development category. Oh, it looked interesting. You know, I'm glad it did. I'm currently, well, I can give, well, in short, I'm currently unemployed, so I don't work for anyone. I am, well, I worked as a developer for like 8 years. Like my last employer was, my last employer was IBM, so I was application developer. Like my official title was application or Java application developer at IBM, and I worked there for like 3.5 years. Before that, I was working as Java developer, like a junior Java developer, in like a very small. Well, all companies are independent, I guess, so it's a very small, it wasn't a startup, but it was a small company, like it had less than 20 employees in total. And they were working on their own product, so they had a software they were selling to call centers. So yeah, so they had a solution that call center employees used to handle calls and do all the things that they need in the call center. So, and before that, I worked there for like less than 2 years, and before that I worked as a tester well, QA specialist in official terms. So I was responsible for testing the software, right, writing tests, doing manual tests, and so on, like writing documentation on top of that. So I have I've seen software development from a couple of angles, and I've been doing that for like 2 years, something like that. And for the last 3 years, I was trying to develop my own independent stuff. So yeah, that's when I got into Python and all the good stuff I'm currently knee deep in. So that's a TLDR, a very shortened version. And now what I'm working is on the bot, on Discord bot. So yeah, I have a bunch of projects I've done, but the most successful one and the most, well, the one I'm most proud of is Discord bots for games. So basically there's a game called Albion Online, and people want to show off their kills in game because it's full loot PvP MMO. So, well, not sure how much you know about all of this. I wish you all the luck in the world. Sounds like quite a journey. Yeah, it's, you know, everyone. It sounds, yeah. I might make it sound, well, you know, I'm the one telling it, so, and the one who actually lived through it. So there's definitely a bias there somewhere. I'm not really sure. I'm the one to judge. I can't, yeah. So, you know, you have to make your own life interesting, I guess. If you have nothing interesting to say about your life, when like, well, for you, if you're just a graduate, like, yeah, for you it might seem odd, but yeah, I'm 33 right now, so you know I had like 10 years post graduation, and don't be so hard on yourself. This sounds great. It sounds great for you, but for me, like, I'm looking at my bank account and it definitely isn't great. So, you know, there are different, like, it is great, yeah, I'm not complaining by any means, like, but I don't recommend for anyone else to just do the things I did. It definitely has its own downsides, and keep that in mind. Just because it sounds good, it doesn't mean it is good. Like, there are different criteria you can judge it on, and not all of them are great. In fame, right? Let's see if this works. Should work. Start. Yeah, but so basic graduate. BSc, what is BSc graduate? I'm not really sure I know what that acronym is. But okay, it has stuff. All of this should be the same, so if I do the name, blah blah blah, okay, test name. Name is set. Oh, doesn't look nice. I need something to indicate that there are no alliances or guilds monitored. Maybe I need to add a quote or something around the field. Something like this. Actually, they should be inside, they should be bold. Have it like this. Right. BSc, that sounds bachelor, I think. Bachelor of Science. Oh. Bachelor of Science, so does it mean your diploma doesn't actually say you're like an developer or programmer. Specialize in computer science. That sounds very broad. I'm not really sure. What would be like? Because the bachelor's degree should be in informatics, I think. If you're looking for a job in, well, diplomas, like it's hit or miss anyways. Like in some places they, well, for example in India, from what I understand, they really like insist on you having a diploma before they even consider you for employment. And here in Lithuania, for example, where I live, like nobody cares about your diploma. Everything, all that matters is what you know, what you actually know. Because formal education, at least here, don't really provide all that good knowledge. Yeah, double quotes don't seem to work. Maybe single quotes would look better. Maybe have a space to indicate. But yeah, science, Bachelor of Science. Yeah, that's an interesting way. What is it? Well, if you don't mind me asking, are you from Europe or from what region are you from? Because I never heard it being referred to like this. Don't think I need these white spaces. Okay. Once again. Right, and if you're looking for a starting position, like you need to have some basics. Sure, I like this. It's a very broad degree based on mostly on mathematics. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And the IT is kind of specialized, like networking, databases, software, software design. Like those are the fields. Like those are the bachelor degrees you can get here if you go into software development. Like if you're looking to get education in that field. You wouldn't, I don't think it, well, computer science sounds like you're actually going into hardware design, like process architectures and so on. That sounds like more of what your degree is intended for, but it's, as I said, it barely matters. Like you can have your bachelor's degree in marketing or whatever and be a successful developer. Like no one, like I actually know examples where people got their degrees in medicine. So basically they were planning on being a proper doctor, but when they got their bachelor's degree or their whatever, the first degree that you get, they realized that they don't really like it and they would rather go into software development, and they were successful developers, like high level developers, like well, not high, well, senior developers. That would be the correct term. Very successful senior developers with that sort of background. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. Having good math knowledge, you know, I guess it's useful, but it's very situational. Ooh, not that. Why does this have double quotes? Oh, this is what I did. I think this will look odd. Let's see. We set the name of the guilds, alliances, guilds, so 3. Let's have some blah blah blah. Let's have a real guild. Partnership. Fools. Then what's the other one? Blue Army? I don't remember any of these names. I haven't played the game in so long. So this looks So, yeah. Oh, it actually reloaded translations. Cool. Right. How can I do this? Maybe I should just put down a comma, forget about it. Like this. Indicate that they are separate. I only did 4 years so far, but from here on, can specialize in great many specific fields, which include software development. But I want some work experience first. Well, which country are you from? Because, well, country region at least. Are you from Europe or somewhere else? Well, I guess my region, since Lithuania is in Eastern Europe, I imagine the situation is very similar in like this area, so in Eastern Europe. So if you're from Eastern Europe, I imagine your experience should be very similar when getting a job and like having a career in software development. So I could definitely provide some what would be a good word? Not suggestions, but comments on that. So from Europe, okay. So it shouldn't be an issue. Like if you would start working, your education will not be necessary. So like continuing beyond your bachelor's degree usually means you're interested in research and development. Because master's degree, basically you're doing a small research project at the end. Bachelor's degree, at least from my experience, was more of a practical thing. So you had to actually make something with like a little bit of research. Like you had to do some research into how other solutions solve the same problem and so on. Welcome back, Risk. We got a new graduate actually, who just graduated his bachelor's degree, so he's 4 years ahead of you. Right. So yeah, if you're interested in research and development, but that usually means working at the university as a professor. So if that sort of thing interests you, then you should seriously consider just continuing your education. If you're more interested in actually, well, I guess it's a good way to try out if you like software development, like in practice. Like if you would prefer to work on developing the theoretical side, like doing research and development, or just being a practical developer that develops solutions for clients. So yeah, if you will like it, so I imagine most likely that if you get a job and you will like it, you won't go back to study. Or if you don't like it and you want to go into research and development and maybe do a career in the university itself, then you would go back to get your master's and then doctorate degrees. Because that's at least how I see it. That's my understanding of it, like when I went through it, because I got my bachelor's degree, then at the end, like at the last year of my bachelor's degree studies, I started working as a quality assurance specialist in a company that was doing software development. Because much like you, I just wanted to get some experience to see how software development looks like from the inside. So I did that while I was studying my bachelor's degree. So I think at third year or last year, or something around that time I started. And then while I was still studying while I was still working as a tester, I started, well, I decided, well, I just finished my bachelor's, well, just from inertia, well, okay, I'll go back and continue my studies. So I started, I went to get my master's degree as well, right after that. I do agree with you. I'm not convinced yet to continue studying unless it requires, which it doesn't sound like it is. No, like usually it doesn't. Like you need to, do some research and see how the application process looks like. If they actually ask you for, like, if it's a requirement to have a certain degree. Because usually it isn't. Because companies don't actually care. Like it doesn't provide them anything that you have a bachelor's degree in a certain field, unless it's like they specialize in software solutions in that area, which like there's few companies that do, but so majority, like 95%, 99% of the companies looking for developers, they don't care. They need a developer that knows the language, understands development process, and can write code, like can produce something. They don't really care what kind of education you had before. My initial thought was also on doing basic computer science, but everyone told me that an engineering degree teaches you more, so I did engineering in computer science. Okay. I think Indian universities are different significantly, and I imagine the structure of like the choices you have are significantly different as well when beginning your studies. So the fields like are named differently. They don't mean the same thing. Well, they mean the same thing, you know. Like because I'm not really sure. Like engineering in computer science. I did basic engineering in computer science. Like, how does that look in practice? Like, what kind of degree is this? Like, here you specialize in one thing, and then so basically you pick a field. So let's say informatics or something like that, IT, or what would be another good field? Mathematics, let's say, and you get your bachelor's degree in that, and then you choose afterward. Software engineers have this degree. Well, I don't have this degree, so well, maybe I'm not a software engineer, I'm a developer, so maybe that's the difference. Like in India, you need to specify that's all of this is in India, so doesn't translate well. Doesn't translate one-to-one. That was my point. Oh, okay. Right. So what I did, I continued my master's degree studies, and then during that time, I realized how useless my degree is, because most of the things I was learning in my master's studies were preparing me to be a research and developer. So, like, basically working for a university after I graduate, and then I can become someone who develops new theory and tests and so on. So I actually didn't finish my master's, so I'm a dropout of. I didn't finish, like I've done all the courses, I passed all the exams, I just didn't finish my master thesis. So that's what, and it was in topologies, so a very interesting, unique field, kind of. Well, not unique, but you know, it's it's a field in data storage, data manipulation, like different way of looking at, like different way of structuring data, and well, it has its own uses, but it's not something widely used yet, at least. Maybe in NoSQL databases they use the same principles, because I can definitely see that being a thing. But otherwise, if I continued with that work, it would have been like a very dry, many years of doing research, doing various, like, research and development sounds cool, but your research and development leads up to technologies like blockchain and something like that. But for each blockchain technology, there are thousands of other technologies that been developed and went nowhere because they didn't actually show enough benefits over existing solutions. Or someone in another part of the world was working on something much more exciting and that solved the same problem, was better, much better, and so your 3, 5, 10 years of research just gets nullified by that. So it is a very, it's a field for a very specific type of person, I feel. Oh yeah, it's not for me, for sure. I like solving problems, I like helping people. So, and that's pretty much what software development is. Client comes to you with a problem, they need such and such software, they can't make it by themselves. So you're here, like, your job, and well, not your personal your personal job, but your role as a company, like software development, is to consult them, well, apply your knowledge in most beneficial way for your customer, and like if you do it everything right, your customer will be very pleased, and yeah, and you'll make a bunch of money along the way, which is also benefit. But that's true for any field. If you're good at it, like, you'll be making money in any field, even in research and development. If you're really smart and you can come up with something really great, showcase how great it is, and it gets adopted by the let's see, what's going on? Why are you sending me PDFs? Our university offers the type of development you wanna do. In the fifth year semester, we have 5 choices. No, it doesn't matter to me at the end. It's me who will study. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I get the reference. Yeah, I'm not talking. Yeah, I'm just talking about my experience, how it was for me, and how I see it when I look back at my years at the end of the studies. So this, I imagine, is, let's open it, some document viewer. Oh, I think this will be transparent for you. Yeah, it's all black. Oh, so it's okay, you can't really see anything. I did not submit, yes. Well, I didn't I didn't have anything to submit. So, you know, it's all that was left, pretty much. And it's not just submitting it. Like, there are a couple of stages in your research paper. So you need to, like, well, in our university it takes 1 year to develop. So you get credits in 2 semesters, which include, well, which are meant for your master thesis only. So 1 semester you get graded on how much you're supposed to, like, do the most of the research, actual research and so on the first half, and the second half should be more of doing testing and I can't remember the word now. But yeah, doing the implementation side, showcasing the examples and doing tests and writing conclusions and so on. So that's the second semester and you get graded in both for how well done each part of your master thesis is. And afterwards, when all is good, then you can go, well, you have to go in front of the board and present it and defend your work, and then you get graded on it at the end. So Can't you just copy someone else's? Well, you can't, because that's what research is about. There's one out of one. Like each master student, like when you go to do master thesis, well, in bachelor's degree it's kind of the same, but you pick what kind of thing you want to do research in, and usually when you pick, like, you don't really think much about it, so you get a bunch of lecturers or professors that are looking for graduate students, because you're not actually doing your own work. You're helping a professor do their own research, so you're contributing to their research. So they need a lot of work to prove their theory or to advance their theory in many ways. So they develop, like, they take their huge research project or research topic, divide it into smaller chunks that can be done by single person in their like bachelor's degree or master's degree and so on, and they give out like they create like formalized descriptions that students can pick from when they need to pick what kind of field, what kind of research they want to do. In our uni, students, they make groups and then do research as a whole. Yeah, I guess when you have a very large number of students, maybe you need to go and do something like this. In here in Lithuania, it worked like that. So basically, I got assigned. Well, I picked. I wasn't assigned a professor that was doing research, and I was contributing to that research, and it involved a lot of graphs and, well, basically ontologies. So, you know, it's a thing no one hears about. So basically, research is working on things that no one hears about, and if it's gonna fruition into something, well, people will know about it like in 10, 20 years or something like that, because it is a lot of work. Well, unless you're working on something really, I'm not sure, unless you're really lucky, maybe then it takes a shorter period of time, or maybe it changes so fast that, yeah, you work for a couple of years and see if it has potential or not, and then you just switch fields. Well, switch to something else, or adapt. I'm not sure. So, yeah, research and development sounds exciting. It really isn't, from what I've seen. So, and that didn't interest me. And to work, yeah, just find a junior position anywhere. It doesn't have to be even a developer position. Like, testing is a very fine option because it will introduce you, like, you will get, especially in like mid-sized companies, if the company that like has less than 100 employees, then you will be exposed to a lot of things, no matter in what kind of position you enter the company in. So there's a lot of opportunities. When you're inside the company, it's a lot easier to move to another position than just right off the bat start in it. So when I was a tester, for example, and I said, well, what are your thoughts about data science? I have very little knowledge about it, so don't really have an opinion on it as well. It seems like a good field, like very popular field. So from my experience, when I was working as a tester, and when I realized, okay, I'm done with testing, I know enough about testing that I feel like there's nothing else. Like it's not something I want to keep doing. I want to do something else, and that something else was actual software development. So I needed to switch places. When I said that to my superiors, to managers, like they were happy that well, because they already knew that I'm like they knew that I'm able to learn, that I'm responsible and so on. So like I already had a reputation in that company. They knew me. They were comfortable with letting me move up much more easily. So yeah, when I said that I want to be a programmer, a developer, they were really happy and they gave me a bunch of choices. But none of those seemed appealing to me, just because they were really looking for developers of SharePoint. And SharePoint is, yeah, I just didn't want to get into SharePoint development. So I refused, and they didn't really have a need for any other developers at that moment. So I decided to look around, and I found quickly I found a company that was looking for entry-level Java developer. So yeah, you can do it both ways. It would have been really easy to become a SharePoint developer at that point, but SharePoint development. I saw the I got scared off a little bit because I was living with one of the developers at that time from that company. It is kind of a funny story as well. But he was SharePoint developer. So I saw how much research it takes, and like he was what he was doing just looked like magic. And I saw the amount of research he did into those topics and how hard they are and what kind of issues it had. Like I just had an innate dislike of Microsoft as well on top of that. It all combined, and yeah, just SharePoint sounded very unappealing. So after doing Java for a time and now Python, do you also find it too easy? Do you also find it too easy? Too easy? I'm not really sure what you mean too easy. No such thing as too easy in development, in programming. Like, I have my own server where I host my own applications, because they need hosting. So you need to learn a bunch of that about managing your environments. But all of that knowledge translates from like development time in the prior companies, because all of these things are done there as well, like source control management. Python being too easy, Python is not too easy. Like Python, like other scripting languages, namely JavaScript, because that's the most common one of that type of languages. They seem easy. They seem, well, they are very easy to get into. Like the entry learning curve at for the beginners is very shallow. Like it's very easy to just pick up and start with it, but it's as difficult to master as any other language. Like it has depth, plenty of depth. I mean that in relative sense compared to OOP languages. I don't find OOP languages any more difficult than Python. Python has its own problems as JavaScript as well, because I had a fair amount of programming experience with something called ActionScript, and yeah, ActionScript is pretty much like it's based on the same standard as JavaScript, because JavaScript is ECMA standard implementation, like types. I think it's TypeScript, the Microsoft flavor of JavaScript. And there's no such thing as easy language. Like if the language is widely used, it just has to have all the advanced features, otherwise it's not usable. Like it's not useful enough to have widespread adoption. So all the languages, all the major languages, all of them are complex, all of them have advanced features, and all of them keep developing and adding new ones and so on. So I don't see it that way. It's not too easy, it's not even easier. It has its oddities. Something is easier. Like I really hate how Python advocates of Python say Python is so easy to read. Like, how is this easy to read? Like, it's no harder or easier to read like if you know the syntax, like C++ code is easy to read. Like there's nothing mysterious or hidden about C++ code. Like if you don't know any programming language, yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe, but it's not intended to be read by someone who doesn't know programming, like who's like, you won't be reading C++ code if you don't know C++. Like you should at least know the basics, like, and like where to find the return type, like that's stuff like that. If you don't know which field is the return type on method definition, like you have no business reading that code anyways. I agree, it's not easy, just something you do in Java with 10 lines can probably done in 1 line of Python. Yeah, well, the same argument stands if you use some sort of framework or a library. Look, and like there are so many things like language. I guess this is something that people who haven't done any work don't realize. Language doesn't matter. Like the language is just the baseline. Like you just learn the language to start with. Like the things that actually make you stand out, make you productive, is not the language or its features. It's the frameworks you use, the third-party libraries you use. Those are the things you actually need to know. Like those will be the things that will. So, for example, if you go apply for a senior developer position, like or even mid-level developer position, they will ask what kind of frameworks you know, what kind of frameworks you have experience with, and when the interview starts, they will ask specific questions from those frameworks, how you solve those problems, and so on. So they will want they will want you to demonstrate knowledge of those tools, because they are those are the actual things that give you productivity. It's not the language, it's not the stuff like that. Language is a given. Like language is just like learning an alphabet. And writing software is writing books. And when you're writing books, like they need to know. They don't ask you what type of alphabet you know. They will ask what type of books you've written. Have you written like plays? Have you written fiction stories? Have you written so and so? Like there are the depth. Like as someone who hasn't worked in there, you don't realize how little you actually know. Like you see the language as something really big and really important, but it's just bare basic thing. Like no one even cares about languages. Like yeah, okay, you need a specific feature. Like you need for example, like C++, right? Or C. You need something to do with hardware. Like you need something to run on very limited resources. I guess I'll find out when I start working. Yeah, so you will see. Like don't care about the language too much. Just think about what type of software you want to be working on, and then look for companies that develop that type of software, and then look what kind of positions they offer, and then look at the requirements, and then based on that do some research. Like if you for example, if a company is working on, I'm not sure, search engines, let's say, or and you think you would be interested in working with stuff like that, then you go and look at what kind of positions they are offering and what kind of requirements they have, because in the requirements they will ask for like knowledge of specific language if they use one specific language. If they don't even specify language, that means they all use different languages in different situations. Like JavaScript is very widely used, especially for quick small scale and backend development for small services with Node.js. So yeah, if you see like keywords like Node.js, like these are the technologies you should be looking for, like frameworks and so on. And don't look at just starting positions, junior positions. Junior positions will have very little requirements because, well, you hire junior, it's usually a graduate, like they have no idea what development actually is. Well, they might, but no, usually they don't. And look at the senior positions. Those will list frameworks and technologies that they actually care about. And if you come to a junior interview and you say, oh, I played around with this framework, oh, I played around, if you see that senior developers, they are looking for senior developers with Node.js, and you come into internship interview, said, oh, I played with Node.js, I actually built like a home, like what could be a good, like I built an app, let's say, with Node.js that, I'm not sure, that pings some sort of website periodically and just saves something into a local database at my home. Like, it's a very primitive, like, it doesn't have to do anything groundbreaking. It just has to work and use those technologies. And like, it will be miles ahead of anyone else. Like, you would be like exceptionally good candidate at that point. So yeah, languages, yeah, it's just, you have to know a language, and when you learn a couple of them, you will see how similar all of them are. Like, yeah, the syntax is different, but features are pretty much the same. Well, it gets to a point where it's annoying because the same things are called different things. Like, they have different names in different languages, but they are the same thing. And so in Python, a module is a file. So this is a module. This whole file is a module, and in Java, for example, a module is a package. So, well, you can also have, no, actually, no, that's not right. Package is a package. I don't remember now what's the config there, but you have to have, like, a file becomes now a module. Like, it introduces like weird things like that. I'm not used to calling files modules, but I kind of force myself over time, because like, it's just how the terminology works. Like in Python, you have functions. In other languages, you have methods, and yeah, so yeah, it's all the same, pretty much. It just has the different name for the same thing. So, what I was going to test, I don't even remember. Create a new. Not sure I like this. I guess I'll just have it in separate lines and be done with this, because I can't think of any way to make this unitard alliances and unitard guilds. Because having quotes doesn't work. This will be a, well, whatever. It's good enough. Pretty sure. So name, guild alliance, and the field. Right. So, do you know what kind of software, or you just want to start working to get some experience? It doesn't matter what. Or do you have like a preference? Where would you like to start? What kind of, yeah, where do you see, like, what appeals to you? That would be interesting to know as a graduate student, like, who is looking at the whole landscape of software development and wanting to get into it. Number of participants. That's neat. Set guilds. Add option here. Or like one, there are. The more I use Python, like the more I code in Python, the more I miss Java development. Like this, whole thing with flexible types, like not being strictly typed and letting you change the behavior and the objects on the fly, like everything is so fluid that it's really it becomes an issue to keep track of what's actually going on. It like with strictly typed languages like C++, Java, to be efficient with them, you need to really plan ahead quite a bit. With Python, you can just slap something together and it will work. But if you're working on a long-term project, that leads to situations where you slapped, like, okay, that I have a perfect. So this is the code I'm rewriting. So because I have the application already done, like 2 or 3 years ago, and now I'm rewriting. The whole application was in one file, because, well, you can do that in Python. It really doesn't matter, but I like the Microsoft stack. Java too. Yeah, if you like Microsoft, stack, I thought, yeah, I like Microsoft stack as well when I learned about it. I just don't like Microsoft as a company, but Microsoft developer stack is really nice. Like, you have a very clear path forward. You learn, basically in Microsoft, you learn C#. C# is the way to go in Microsoft Enterprise Development. And yeah, there are 2 or 3 stages, like basic C# developer certificate, the next one advanced, and then senior one. They have different requirements. They might require some other certification along the way, but yeah, it's very clear. To get these, you need to get these certifications to get this level of developer job. Those require to read these books. Everything is written by Microsoft. Everything is managed by Microsoft. Very consistent, very clear, and very easy. I would say from the standpoint, like, you don't really need to, like with more open technologies, it's not as easy. Like, yeah, the more open source, more open the technologies, like the more variety of different flavors, implementations, and standards there are for it. And when everything comes from one place, like from Microsoft, it's very clear cut and very, oh, just that clearness has such a huge benefit that I definitely can, yeah, recommend. And yeah, if you know that you like Microsoft stuff, look for C# development positions, like junior C# developer. There should be plenty of those around. A quick thing, log them so they never come back, remove their message. Right. Java is very similar in that way. With Java, you have a little bit more choices with frameworks, because Java is innately a little bit more open. Like, you have, well, just by the nature of having Oracle Java implementation and open source Java implementation, usually enterprises stick with Oracle's implementation. So you will be like I had my Java certification was done by Oracle. Like, I took a test by Oracle and they issued me a certificate saying that, okay, I passed, I have a certain level of knowledge in Java, in Oracle Enterprise Java. Because, yeah, so very true. I like the consistency, even though I'm also not a big fan of the company. Yeah, well, yeah, you can have those things separately. And yeah, if you basically, if you get into Microsoft technologies, if you become a C# developer, you guaranteed a job. Your job will be safe. You guaranteed a good salary, and you guaranteed to, like, you can focus on your life at that point. Like, if you want to be like a software developer that breathes software development, where you look at what's being developed new in different by different communities, like getting involved in a bunch of different open source projects and so on, and constantly researching new frameworks and so on, then yeah, Java might be more appealing. But if you want to get on with your life, get a good salary, have a solid understanding and so on, like Microsoft seems to be like being a C# developer seems like a better choice. And definitely I became Java developer just because that job offer came first, because I wanted to be a C# developer myself. When I was a tester at the end of when I decided I want to switch to actual development, my first choice was C# development, but the only C# developers they needed were for SharePoint, and SharePoint is just damn. At that time, like how long was that? Like 10 years ago, 9 years ago? At that time, that technology was already dying, and it was like a gargantuan mess at that point. And getting into that, like, it had no future whatsoever. So I didn't really feel like I want to waste my time with a technology that's already dying right off the start, at the start of my, like, let's say, developer career. So yeah, that's why I decided not to go with it. Now I realize it wouldn't have really mattered, but yeah, and I became a Java developer just because, like, when I was looking around, like, the first offer I came across was for, well, entry position as a developer was for Java, and I thought, well, Java, or any, like, I'm not really a developer in any language, like, might as well start with Java. And like basically it's a coincidence. I became a Java developer, and now I'm writing in Python, so it's irrelevant at this point. It doesn't matter if I coded Java or C# or C++ before. Like, I'm still, well, the current problem I'm dealing with, and I just wanted to try it because Python got really hot. Everyone was talking about Python, and everyone was using Python. It seemed everywhere. So I thought, might as well, if I'm doing my own thing, might as well learn this, see what it's about. Yes, it's cool. I don't see, like, I see it being very useful in academic circles where you don't have professional developers. Like, that's actually where the claim to fame came. Well, that's what was Python's claim to fame. It became extremely popular in academic communities where they needed to work with data. Like, they needed an easy to learn, easy to use scripting language for just doing basic things. So, and Python, like, fitted that perfectly. And when it started being used in academic communities, that eventually cascaded into professional environments, like, because people in universities, they have a lot of time. I'm actually very interested in AI. Would like to work on it someday. What do you think? They say Python is the way to go. Then yes, Python is absolutely. it seemed like it was made for that. Well, it's very nice because of dynamic typing and so on. Like, you don't, with AI, it's well, I haven't actually done any of AI work myself, so I just have, like, very shallow understanding and very superficial knowledge of how actual AI development is done. But from what I understand, like, you work with large data sets of various types of data, and yeah, Python is really good with that because it's very easy, very convenient to go through, like, to iterate over, like, different types of data, to parse it and do something with it. Like, so Python is definitely the way to go then. You will be, like, if you will be working in a company with AI, they will be using Python. Like, I'm 90% sure. Just because of, like, the features of the language, like what makes it different from others. Like I say, like all the languages are the same. From a programming standpoint, like writing an application in Python doesn't feel all that different than writing an application in JavaScript or in Java. It's you still have to write all the things it needs to do. You still have to define all the interfaces it will use. You still have to do all the checks, all the business logic implementation still has to be done. Like it won't make your problems any simpler. It will be just a different way of solving it. So from that standpoint, it's all the languages are kind of similar. But what it stands out, what the features that are different are really beneficial to like working with large amounts of data, like you would in AI stuff. So you can use any language, but yeah, Python will. So yeah, to showcase what the issues, like what I find annoying about Python, let's say, because when I was starting, like I didn't knew anything. I skimmed through the documentation to familiarize with all the features, and you know, some of it I retained, most of it I didn't. I wasn't like a high level developer to begin with. Like it wasn't like I quit my job at IBM when I was a senior developer. Like I was like mid-level, like a normal average developer. So, and yeah, and I picked up Python. So the situation was I created a bot that got very popular. Like it exploded pretty much. And I wrote it for myself and my friends when we were playing the game. And well, it was associated with the game we were playing. And other people, since it's a MMO, so we always got people to collaborate with that joined our group and so on. So people started seeing my bot, and they were started asking for it for themselves. But they like, so I rewrote the application so it would support multiple configurations. So I started saying, okay, so if you want, I will add. So I started setting up for other guilds. Then the word of mouth did its thing. Eventually, it got to a point where I was waking up to like 10 plus messages on Discord from people I don't know, asking me to set a bot for them. And yeah, I was spending like multiple hours a day just sitting down and setting up bots for other people. So I get to a point where I had, okay, I need to automate this. It's not sustainable if it's not automated. Like I can't do this manually. So that's where this configuration bot came from. So that's what it's for. It's basically, it just helps you set up bots. So yeah, so this is what you're greeted with. So you can have a couple options. It's even localized, so you have different language support, and you interact. It's just a wizard pretty much. So I have 2 bots currently supported that you can set up. So you just go through the list of all the options, you set up all of these things, make all the sense to the people who actually know the game, who would use those bots. So it's very easy to use, easy to, like, it's excellent, like, but since when I started working on it, I wanted to be done as fast as possible. Like I wanted to be done now. Like I did this in a couple of days. So it turned out to be this huge spaghetti of 1,000 lines of code. There are no classes. Like there are only functions, and it's all in one file. And that's it. So Python is good because it lets you do stuff like that. But when I want to add a new feature, like people are complaining, oh, something is not right. They want a button in certain menu. Like when I look at this, how we implemented those menus, how? Where do I start? Like how do I edit? Like these magic strings, like especially when you look at like something like this, like why? Like how can I tell what this means? Like it lets you dig such a huge hole that eventually like you can't even see the top of the hole. Like, this is unusable, unmaintainable, unfixable. Like, I say that in theory you can, but it's benefit and it's downside. Like, it could be both. It's not sustainable. Look at this if mess. Configure killbot. So this function is, and this is the code that actually still runs. Like, this is what I'm interacting with here. So this is the code behind all of that. Let's see if I go to, so if I create killbot, so this is the code that actually provides me with this menu and handles all the input. So that's why, because I did it line by line, I wasn't thinking ahead, I wasn't planning anything, I just wanted it to be done. So, and yeah, this is what you end up with. And then after a couple of years, when you want to update it, upgrade it, like you need to write completely new application. So with some planning, hopefully. So that's what I'm doing. And like this one file turned out into like this whole, let's make this not full screen. Let's see. So yeah, all of this, like all of this project, this whole project is basically that one application. So yeah, all of this. So you have a bunch of modules, Python terms, a bunch of files in the global scope, then menus need to be separate, then other instances, some resources. Configuration had to be split into a bunch of like different way of implementing translations, so it would be more scalable, easily extended. Because before that, it used to be everything was in one file with different sections, like each section was for different language. Like, it just, yeah. And it turns out when you get to this scale, then you need to all those features that make, let's say, C++ or Java or C# a little more verbose to use. Like you need those features to manage larger project. Like you need these classifiers, these data classes. Like they are not necessary in Python. Like you can create just a plain object and just assign it these values, like any of these values, and it will work. But when you need to keep track of what is like, if you assign everything with using like magic strings, let's say like here, like if you need to change something along the way, like now you need to go and look through all of these, like it's just not viable, not doable. Like you need too much to remember and so on. So you need to go into like more structured way of writing code, and that leads like you're basically it turns like you don't get all that many benefits from Python being Python at that point. It's just very easy, very tempting to slip up and start using, like for example, even in this rewrite, let's see, bot class, I had to use this. I had to use these magic strings, which, because that's, so what this is the name of the data class field that I'm editing. Because I wanted to have a generalized method, because, well, abstraction, it's not about reusability, because all of these functions handle use name update, alliance name, all of these are just handle string updates. The only difference is the validation, because they need to follow different rules, and the field where the value is stored. But in Python, it is impossible. If you have a data class or any class declared, you can't get the name of the property. Like, if I want to use, let's say, bot, well, it's in classes, bot, and I want to say that the value has to be, let's say, name, something like that, of this field. I can't. It doesn't exist in Python. There is no way to do that. So I have to, like, I am forced to use like magic strings, because that's actually possible. Python has feature where like it has a built-in method set attribute where you provide an instance and the attribute name, which is this magic string. Then here you can use, like, it promotes using magic strings and doesn't really give you an option to, well, at least I'm not really a Python guru, so maybe there's a workaround that I don't know. But I even went down to Python's Discord, official, like, well, where Python community is like, it's huge. Like, it had like 50,000 members or something, and I started asking around there, and the people just weren't able to figure out a solution. Like, there is no reasonable way to do this. Like, you can create a classifier like this, for example, enumeration. The classifiers, I have an enum here. Yeah, so loggers. Let's say, for example, I have a classifier. I could create a classifier which would hold like these magic strings, and I would use them here and here. Like, it becomes very convoluted if you want to use it more strictly. I'd say that's, and it's not how people use it, it's not a common practice and so on. So if you want to have more structure and so on, like, it's nothing special. I would much rather write it in Python, or I mean in Java, because I know those features are there, and because that's how the well, since it started off as strictly typed, it had to develop those features to enable certain solutions. And Python, since it started as a loosely typed language, like, it's not really a problem to them. So it never, they, like, it's rare that people want to have this name not to be a string. Most people are okay with it being just a magic string in their code. Like, magic string is a term we learned, well, I learned when studying for Java, because Java is, well, it's a bad practice to just have strings in your code like this, because when it comes time to update it, like, for example, IDE, like, if what do I need to rename? Let's say I rename the classifier of some sort. Show player names. Let's say, so if I want to rename it, I just do, okay, let's save it all. I just do refactor, rename, let's see, username 2. And it goes and it renames everywhere. So for example, if I go and look at the references where it's used, it's not used anywhere. That's amazing. It has to be used somewhere. Wait, I definitely use it. Wait. Or don't I use it? No, I use it. New battlebot. Yeah, it has to be some here. Oh, the code is not okay. Okay, messed up. So this is, since this is not valid, probably didn't update it. Yeah, show player. Now it complains that it doesn't exist. So if this was not a classifier value, like it was like a magic string, and I decided to update it, I would have no way of knowing until the application actually crashed during runtime. Now it won't run. It will complain. Okay, this such and such thing doesn't have show new player names. It has now show player names too. But another advantage is if I rename this now here with an IDE like Visual Studio or Eclipse in my case, I press it here and the value gets updated here as well, because the IDE actually knows that this and this are the same thing. So if I change name in one place, it will update all the references. And Python, like, and when you have magic strings like this in your code, like nothing will update. Like because this is supposed to reference players here. So this value, if this suddenly becomes, let's say, other players. Let's say, like, okay, let's do the proper rename. Let's rename other players. Yeah, this stays the same because the IDE has no idea that it's supposed to reference this property. And if I go, yeah, now where I actually access that value through an instance that is of this type, like where IDE has proper mapping, like the references get updated automatically. Like this other player, no, it knows that it's supposed to be other player. Like if I look at the history, it used to be bot players, and now it's bot other players because I renamed it. So, you know, stuff like that. So if I undo this, undoing, continue, okay, let's undo. So yeah, it undid the rename in multiple places and now the name, like things like that. that I find annoying about Python these days. Right, that was a long rant. So yeah, every language has its own upsides and downsides. Sometimes those even match. the upside is the downside at the same time. Right. But I think I'm done for today. I guess I got my battlebot configuration menu somewhat working. Well, I get well, I have something to start with. So tomorrow I will do the rest of the properties, I think. We'll see. And yeah, well, since I have a couple of new people here, so if you if you want to see more of this, consider following, I guess, if you already don't. I have a bunch of ideas in the future. Like I stream each morning, well, for me it is morning, Sunday to Friday, more or less. Sometimes I do streams in the evening for specialized things. So I did a couple of episodes about databases, my knowledge of databases, and so on. That's very annoying. I can see how that would completely break the whole app, and if there are a lot of references, then the tech debt becomes more work than implementing new features. Yes, exactly. So that's the benefit of, like, that's why a lot of languages, like in before that, were strictly typed. Like that's the benefit of strictly typed languages. Like you can't just write anything, and just because you know it's gonna be okay. The interpreter, the IDE, needs to know that it will be okay as well. So you need to define it in a strict way. And that's how it used to be. And now, you know, Python, well, now when people started working with a lot of various types of data, like when you don't know what kind of data you will be accepting, like, and it's not like in one place you don't know what kind of data you will be working with. You don't know, like it's a rule of thumb that if you get something to work with, you don't know what type of thing it is, then yeah, loose typing is really beneficial. Otherwise you will be spending time writing wrappers and so on, and parsers and so on, that would take this unknown data, parse it somehow, and put it into a structured way where you can actually use it in strictly typed languages. So there are benefits to both sides. I'm not saying that one is better than the other by any means. Like it all depends on the situation, and AI would definitely, yeah, it gets a lot more benefits from Python than, say, general development, just because of the nature of everything. Well, hopefully yeah, nice discussion. Well, I'm glad you liked it. About development I can talk all day. Like I have so many, I'm very opinionated, not always well informed, but hopefully I'm clear-minded enough to at least mention or identify when I'm not really well informed. Like, say, big data. Like I know very little about big data. It seems like for someone who has background with, well, in mathematics, let's say, maybe that would be more appealing of a field. I'm not really sure what kind of technologies they use. Thanks for sure. We'll see you around. Okay, well, in any case, yeah, I need to go eat something because it's 1 p.m. Already. Yeah. So Risk, let me know if you wanna do PUBG this evening, as yeah, that could be interesting. I guess we can discuss that in Discord before, like an hour before I start. I think we can talk if you feel ready, if you can get ready in time with everything. We can do like a PUBG stream, play some PUBG for a couple hours, even though like I will be terrible, but you know what you're doing. So yeah, well, in short, I'm not used to, like, when I look at this, like this is my viewership. So now when I see this, like, it kind of it feels a little bit painful to end the stream here. But you know, like it's been like what, 4 hours, so you know it is live 3 hours 58 minutes, so you know. Okay, see you this evening, or if not, well, tomorrow morning the same time.